Hey everyone! In this video I'm just going to do a quick flip through with Growing with Grammar Level 2. This is the student workbook. Doesn't really come with like a teacher's manual or anything, it's just this student workbook. Something that really stands out about this curriculum is that it's very much a pick up and go curriculum. And another thing that I noticed that I think will actually work out this year with my son is that if your child can read, it's kind of like a self-taught curriculum. So with those two things in mind, you can see if that's something that might fit you and your family. That's something that I definitely need, just something to grab and go. My son is the type of person that just wants to get through it quickly. He's a pretty fast learner, so we don't need to do like too much discussion. Once he gets the concept, he can just do the worksheets and then just move on. So that's why I like this curriculum, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick flip through and just show the types of concepts that we'll be going over this year for second grade, and then you can see if that's something that will fit your family as well. So of course I'm going to start with the table of contents. So we can see here that it starts off with sentences. They will practice with sentences, then they're gonna practice with subjects and predicates, different types of sentences like questions, exclamation, joining sentences, and then they have review. Section 2 is about nouns, pronouns, and prepositions, capitalization, days, months, and holidays, plural nouns, collective nouns, irregular plural nouns, possessive pronouns, subject pronouns, object pronouns, prepositions, and then some review. And then section 3 is on verbs, action verbs, subject verb agreement, present tense verbs, past tense and future tense verbs, irregular verbs, linking verbs, do, does, and did, has, have, and had. Contractions, verb, review. Then section 4 is on adjectives, adverbs, and writing. Adjectives that compare, writing with adjectives, using a, an, and the, introduction to adverbs, using commas correctly, using the dictionary, and writing a friendly letter. So that just gives a quick overview of the concepts. So for myself personally, that seems very extensive. I really love all that they get into this year. Now I'm just going to give an idea of what the activities kind of look like. So this is very much just a workbook style, and I really like workbooks when it comes to stuff like this, like for grammar, because there is just a lot of repetition in that sense where you can just learn the concept and then just kind of like go through the activity and just make sure that you get that practice in with that concept. So this is lesson 1 about sentences. This is very much review from last year because he learned this a lot last year, just starting the sentence with a capital and then ending with a punctuation mark, but you still get an idea of how a lot of these worksheets go. So they start with a really quick, like you could see just how simple they make it. They give the concept and they give an example, and then they kind of just like repeat it, what the example's teaching. So that's all they do. And then again, if your child can read, they can just read this on their own. And then if you need to step in, then you can go ahead and step in if they need help. But otherwise, they can totally just do this on their own, which is really nice. I love that now that he's getting a little older, we can start stepping into that realm where he can start doing things a little bit more on his own and be a little more independent. So this is where they give the instructions. If the sentence is written correctly, write yes, or if it's not written correctly, write no. So he just goes through this, and then there's usually the back page, rewrite these sentences. So again, there's the instructions, and then he just goes ahead and fills that out. Write 2 sentences about a game you like to play. So you see the bit of variety of the practice that they'll be getting, but it's only a 2-page or 1.5 pages really, because this is the lesson. So that is really all that's to it for all the lessons. You see lesson 2 is the same exact format here, and then it goes into the activities. As I was flipping through this though, there was a part of this where I felt like it got a little more advanced where I can see my son asking for help. He would need a little more guidance. Let me go to that. So like, for example, lesson 48 is a little more lengthy, and just him looking at it might be a little overwhelming just in his mind. So you can see there's a lot of bold words here because these are all the things that they're gonna have to really focus on. And so I might have to step in a little bit just to make sure he's focused and really understanding what's being said, because this is a full page of the lesson. So you know, there might be instances like that where we might have to step in and just give them a little bit of that boost. But let me keep looking for what. Okay, so this is what I was referring to. Lesson 43, talking about pronouns. Again, it's like a full page, but they talk about like the subject part. They really break everything down. There's the subject part. You know, this one's just I, and this one's Sue and I. There's the predicate for the two different sentences. And they talk about the object pronouns and what words will follow. And so there's just a lot of like breaking down the technical terms, you know, of each word in the sentence. And so again, I just was looking ahead. I'm thinking, yeah, I might have to sit down with him on these lessons. Here we go again, just really breaking down. But as you can see, it seems like there is a lot of repetition throughout the lessons. And they start, you know, small. They start with just talking about one concept. They add the other concepts, you know, to make the full sentence later on. So I'm really happy with what they're giving, all the concepts that they're including this year. I think it's great. And I just really, really enjoy this grab and go. My son really enjoyed it last year because, not that he enjoyed it, but it just worked well with his style. You know, just a quick lesson and then just go ahead and show that you understand it and then move on. And it's really simple and quick that way. I think also that they do really well with the repetition. They don't just give like one lesson and move on to like a harder, like they give quite a few lessons of the same concept to make sure that they practice and they understand it pretty well. So I think they do a really good job with this curriculum. And so there you have it. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I'll leave a link to this curriculum website in the description box. And yeah, let me know what you think of this or what curriculum you use. What you recommend. I always love to hear that because I just never stop researching different ones, and it's always good to keep an open mind. So thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.